About Eastern wisdom. Knowledge is knowledge, whether it is the knowledge of the science or the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. But it does not mean the knowledge of physics is equal to knowledge of chemistry or astronomy. They have totally a different purpose and application. But what we are talking in Eastern wisdom is the subjective knowledge. And the entire or all the branches of the modern science is the knowledge of the objective world. So one is there is the objective world, and other is the subjective world. Totally different in opposite direction. But both are discovering the real. What is the truth? What is the that is very important. So what happens? We know I know the science, so I can find out the cause and effect. I can ask few questions, and I will know what you are talking about. So if we are talking about if you convert or if you take the objective reality as the subjective reality, nothing is going to be achieved. You can be a genius in your profession, in your IQ may be very high, but it will not work. Many students, who got through the Harvard, they commit suicide. So what is internal landscape and what is external landscape, there is a hell of difference between the two. I can use my mind in solving any problem, and I can repeat it to gain proficiency, what is known as the intellectual quotient. But what do I feel inside at the subjective level does not change. That is why I said you have the highest IQ score and still you commit suicide. So, what is the internal landscape? We don't. It is totally a different knowledge. And that is what I am saying, objective reality and the subjective reality. So, in the very beginning, Eastern wisdom says that we have a worldly knowledge of the phenomena that we can understand by physics, chemistry, biology, physiology, neurophysiology, neuroscience. So, what we are doing in Eastern wisdom, we want to know who am I? What is my real nature? So the question comes, then I know who am I. So if you know who you are, then you don't have any stress and suffering in your life. Until now. So if you don't have any stress and suffering, then leave the session and enjoy your life. No, it is not so. So no excuse. You have, no, I suffer because of my husband or because of my wife. I suffer because I don't have the resources. That is what the science perceives in terms of the suffering. If I have the right resources, oh, it means if I'm rich, I'm happy. Is there any guarantee? So we don't question it. Why we don't question? We are living impulsively and instinctively and habitually. So when we are living impulsively and habitually and instinctively, then we don't care who am I. It never comes to my mind. Even if the teacher goes on teaching you that you have to find out who am I. No, because I have a lot of stress because I'm simple. I'm single. So how many married couple are happy? So we raise a very real question and we don't question it. What it means? So you see from there the science moves in one direction, Eastern wisdom moves in other direction. So science always wants to find the answer that happiness, love, wisdom, peace are located outside in an event, in a person, in a relationship, in an object, in possessions, in position. And we have tried everything. There is no peace and happiness. There is no peace. We have to think. It is not only the goal of the teacher to speak out, to throw out, and then, okay, then I'm just going into the same mode of the mind. I become impulsive. I demand lot of things. I go into anxiety. It is not going to help you. You may be a genius. Peace and happiness doesn't care for whether we are a genius or we are fool. So the Eastern wisdom first says inquire, does anything in the world has a property of peace and happiness, love and wisdom? Sometimes we say, I love my cutie dog. Okay, that is why you are happy. So we treat others also as a cutie, and then there is a problem when we deal with the humans. Sometimes we say out of attachment, oh cutie, you are cute and beautiful, you are handsome. But we don't recognize that love is not the property, happiness are not the property of any object in the world. It is not objective, it is subjective. It is subjective. Again, understand so that you can contemplate and reflect. The objective world means, or objective knowledge, both are the same. Objective knowledge, that is, it means I'm worldly. It is a conventional reality. It is how we learn to drive, to succeed at work, or earn money, or understand the scientific laws, or we get married, or we divorce. It is the objective world. And the subjective knowledge is who am I? What exactly is my nature? What are the attributes of this I am? There begins the journey of the Eastern wisdom. And if we don't think about it, if we don't contemplate, then nothing happens in our life. We continue to suffer. I have seen people doing all those practices for more than 20 years and they remain the same. Why? Because they want to change the subjective knowledge into an objective. At least until now, nobody succeeded. Everyone failed. Who knows, you may succeed. Why? Because we have a big ego inside. We want to live into our comfort zone. We don't want to break it. That is one of the major reasons. Other reason that I am humble. What is the meaning of humility? Oh, let us be open. Let us keep aside what I know until now and see what lies in this subjective field of knowledge. Then only I can progress. That is one way to know that what is the subjective area and what is the humility. It is transcendental. You want to know the waves, yes, that is one area of the knowledge, but we want to know all the waves are nothing but an ocean. Physically, by expressing it, it seems very simple. Oh, it's very easy. Yes, all the waves are ocean. So all the humans are one pure consciousness. Oh, yes. By this metaphor, it is yes, it is yes. So, do you hurt yourself? What do you mean? So, if you hurt your honey or react to someone, you are hurting yourself because all humans are one. No, that is a different thing. So, I keep my ego there and then I do not understand. I agree and then I disagree. Why I agree and disagree? Because of I'm more intelligent. So Eastern wisdom has nothing to do with more intelligent or less intelligent. There is no competition even between the teacher and the student. My master used to say that, whatever I know, that knowledge is present in each one of you. We have to reveal this knowledge. Science claims that I invented this. It is not an invention, it is rediscovery. We don't have any issues whether you agree or you don't agree. Question is whether you are ready to discover your real nature or not. Pay attention again. The ever-changing surface of the ocean. My thoughts, emotions, daily events, successes, failures. We study waves. It is an objective word. Their pattern, their fleeting nature. That is what the science. Vast, deep, unchanging. The fundamental reality that gives rise to all the waves but remains unchanged. We want to discover that. So any knowledge, whether it objective knowledge is relative, subjective knowledge is absolute. You cannot research, you cannot find the absolute knowledge by relative knowledge. Let me close my eyes, I focus on the breath and I'm relaxed. Yes, you will be relaxed, but again you'll be stressed. Because we have yet to find out that subjective reality. So once we understand that we have an objective knowledge, objective world, we have a subjective knowledge, and the subjective world outside, then Master says, we identify with the objective world. We start claiming that this is me. I'm sitting at my home, I'm referring to the body. So now question is, we have to find out whether I'm body or I'm not the body. Now intellectually I know, yes, if you know you are not the body, then there is a freedom. So you see, whether you are body, you say, no, I'm sitting at my home, so I'm referring that I'm the body. My mood is upset, I'm referring to my mind. So in one event I am the body, in another event I am the mind. So am I the body and the mind both? Yes. So very good. I am the body and the mind. So if I am in deep sleep, who am I? I am neither the body nor the mind. We don't want to. We escape that reality because so when you escape, you will continue to have those suffering in your life. Nobody can stop. Because you identified with the body. That's why I am the body. You identified with the mind. That is why you say my mood is upset. So the moment you identify with the body, you will definitely identify with the people outside. You will have some level of differences with your relations with the people outside. You cannot escape that. You may say, I'm doing very good. It doesn't work. Unless you follow the journey, unless you understand misidentity or identification is the problem, then only you can get out of the suffering of anxiety, duality, conflict, reaction, blame, and complaint. It is very easy to hide reaction in a society in a particular event. Someone knocks the door. Oh, hello, come, how are you? As if I'm the happiest guy, but inside my mind is full of reaction. I'm talking about the inner landscape. I'm not talking about what is outside. It is very easy for people to cheat. But who suffers the most? If I cheat, I will suffer the most. So that is one is subjective area, other is purely objective area. Objective and the subjective area. So we are talking of that how to change that subjective area. That I have a reaction inside, I have an attachment inside, I have an obsession inside, but outside there is a totally a different expression. Did we ask that why we have such a dichotomy, why we have such a dual personality in our life? As long as we have this dual personality in our life, it will breed the conflict and reaction in our life. We are trying to understand the knowledge in the objective realm and knowledge in the subjective realm. Who am I? So I am the body at one time, I am the mind at one time, I am nothing, neither the body and the mind at third time. Like this, there is an I, keeps on changing. Throughout, when at the moment I wake up until I fall into sleep. It's a bad morning, that is one I am. After a few hours, I take coffee and then my brain boosts with certain chemicals. It's a wonderful morning. Okay. So the world outside is wrong. I am right. Because whatever I say is right. Here she is, my soulmate. You might have experiences. Everyone has the same experience. My soulmate. Soulmate. Do you appreciate the meaning of the soulmate? So now you got married. So is the person still the soulmate? No. Are you the person who is same? Yes. So you are crazy or others are crazy? You had a wrong, you had a wrong understanding. Either in the beginning when he or she was soulmate, or now when you are on the verge of a divorce. We don't think. Only the world is responsible for everything. That is the difference between the subjective and the objective area. Pertaining, again, I'm just trying to understand. The objective world pertains to the world mundane, empirical, conventional, material. We say it is a material world, or objective reality. There are many names to this. And the subjective world, subjective field is who am I? Who am I? Am I changing or not? Eastern wisdom says the real I is unchanging. It is eternal. It is of the nature of permanent happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Where it is? Where is the electron, proton in the atom? You see in the computer screen or device you have, you are watching me. Science says it is made up of atom and atom is made up of electron. Now the science can prove it. That is what we say. Now you prove it. The entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, we start with a hypothesis that we are of the nature of the real self. Real self is of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So we are proving it step by step. It took 150 years for the science to see that matter consists not only of small particles, atom, about 120 years ago, and then they took another 50 years to understand atom can be further divided into particles. They took another 50 years that all these particles acts as a wave and also acts as a particle, what is known as electromagnetic field or quantum physics. 150 years. You don't have a time to spend a couple of years and weeks and months to find out who the real self is. You don't want to understand. Simple. We don't want to find out. I don't want to find out. I am permanent peace and happiness. Hence, what it means, I want to continue to live in this suffering. What Eastern wisdom says, he says arrogance. I'm fully busy. I have lot of conflict and problems in my life. Then what should I do? Why, the world outside is responsible. My honey is responsible. System is responsible. President is responsible. My house is responsible. Tap water doesn't stop it. My house is responsible. It is the same answer. Don't think that you are giving a different answer. My honey is responsible for my stress. It is the same problem. The tap water is flooding your house. Oh, tap water is responsible. That's the difference between the objective and the subjective area. If we don't clearly understand, so what happens the moment you start the Eastern wisdom, it helps you to transcend the objective knowledge. That is why meditation, we say it is transcending the mind. Same metaphor. The world of You sit at the sea beach and there is a wind blowing and you see the millions of the waves. Waves means they appear and disappear. What it means, that is the journey we have to undertake. Manifest and unmanifest. So what manifest and unmanifest, what appear and disappear is the same thing the entire world, objective reality appear and disappear. 67 years old, another 20 or 25 years old will disappear. What will disappear? Body, mind. But there is something that does not disappear, that is the ultimate cause, is who am I? We are discovering that. So ocean will never disappear. The waves will manifest, and that is how in the beginning we learn these. We get a pointer. Oh, this is what you want to discover. Waves versus the ocean. So what are every human being versus? That is what we want to discover. And if we don't bring that understanding, that errs in our understanding, there is nothing we can do in our life to get rid of the stress and the suffering. Last point, we promise 10,000 years old tradition. We have 3,000 masters. Buddha taught in India for more than 45 years, and every master taught, wrote extensively the same principles. They validated again and again. I will think it over. One guy told me that I will think it over. Oh, I'm convincing you to think. I'm talking about pure knowledge with a cause and effect relationship, and still we don't want to do it. Because we are awfully busy. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. First is place, position, and posture. Just see that, are you aware? Or if I can say, just plain awareness. I'm not saying too much today in practice. If you reflect on it, place of the body and the place of real self. I don't know the real self, but just as a hypothesis, think that the real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Or you can think the place of the body with the name and the form, one aspect of reality, and the place of the real self is formless and nameless. There is no name to it. It is only one real self pulsating in you, me, everyone. We are on a journey to that. And when we say, now come to the position of the body and the real self. So we say the real self is all pervading. There is no place where the real self is not. What should be the position of the body? What should be the position of the real self? It can only be one position. So what is the one position? That should be the stillness. That is what we are talking about. If that stillness comes naturally, then you are closer. But if we say, yes, okay, I am with full of big ego, I know what it is, and then all that is one reason I don't practice. I don't have a time. Where is the posture? Posture of the real self would be only one. Why? It is all pervading and eternal. I'm just moving to the next step. I've been saying being comfortable. If you think that these steps are just primary steps, you are not teaching me the advanced steps. In every step, you can move qualitatively at a higher level. That is the difference. To being comfortable, the comfort is what? Comfort is a feeling, and you can say an experience. So I'm just going discomfort or comfort in the body. Yes, we experience. In the mind, we experience. It simply means the comfort is not the nature of the body and the mind. It comes from deep within. Deep within, or if I say beyond body and the mind. Like, can you figure out waves, how the waves come from the ocean? Transcends it. So we learn in a very simple way. Oh, let us start learning and experiencing what. That is why I say look at the neck joint. So the first point of awareness is change the direction. If you do not change the direction, and if you claim that yes, I'm comfortable, not possible at all. You have to be with me consciously in the entire practice. If you are not, what we say you are not, your mind is distracted, it's wandering. That is why it is impulsive and habitual. So look, when you look at the neck joint, means what? You have a point of awareness. What is that point of awareness? You change the direction of the mind from outside to inside. You should know it. You should know, experience it. The moment you experience what happens, that is our second point of awareness. If you are not aware at the first level and you jump onto the second point of awareness, what you will find, you will say to me, my mind is distracted. So I understand, I don't say it. So once there is a change of direction of the mind, so what do you see? What do you see in the neck joint? So that seeing is called, either you are aware, you know mentally, you feel, and you experience. So what do you experience? That experience is sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So you see the impact of the practice, the impact of the step. Impact of the step we experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. We don't appreciate, we just take it casually in our life. So, what is the impact? First, we experience the change of direction. We find new level of awareness. In that awareness, we experience, know, and feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. That sensation and steadiness belongs to the body, but the comfort comes from deep within. If I don't recognize this, and I don't appreciate it is coming from deeper within, my ego, my impulsive nature, oh, it's okay, if I sit like this, I will always feel comfortable. So why don't you feel comfortable all the time? We don't have an answer. So now we will move to the next step of being. Yeah, let us leave that being carefree for some other time. We will jump onto another level, another area of experience. Normally it is known as scanning, but I don't want to use the word scanning. We want to help settle the mind by sensation, relaxation, and stillness. If you are not conscious, you cannot have a conscious experience. So now you see your mind has already changed the direction. So if I say move the mind on the head and the neck, or touch the skin of the head and the neck, how do you touch mentally? How? By mind. How? By mind. So now it is when you move your mind on the skin, you feel, you know, you experience. What do you experience? Sensation in the body. And that sensation in the body is homogeneous. That sensation is homogeneous, is a conscious experience of relaxation. But followed by the stillness in the body when we are relaxed, mind is not distracted outside. So we have a wrong identification, and that wrong identification I discussed briefly is what we are not, we claim we are. And now follow the same. Move the mind or touch the skin of the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and experience. I'm not saying you, I'm not forcing you. So if your mind is consciously moving on the right arm, you will surely feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So now we enter into a principle in the Eastern wisdom. If you first think that you feel, you experience. So we are not saying you believe it. We say you practice, you consciously experience, then we will tell you the principle. Move the mind or touch the skin of your left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. You're moving gently and slowly. So what is the principle? Prana. Prana, we say it is a life force. Life force. So master principle says where the prana moves, mind moves. And where the mind moves, prana moves. If it is not, we are not doing the practice correctly. We are already absorbed into our habitual nature somewhere deep inside. What we are doing in this step, we are moving the mind so the prana moves. So prana moves by moving the mind. That is why I say it is not a scanning. So prana moves by moving the mind. So we have an experience of sensation. You cannot have an experience of sensation without prana. So move the mind or touch the mind, touch the skin of the mind, touch the skin of the portion from the shoulder down to the waist. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the skin of the entire right leg, from the right side of the waist to the toes. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. I told you there's two points in this step. There are 7 points in this step, but only by these few steps you can reach to the highest level. Provided we are doing it, we have a sense of commitment and sincerity to yourself. And now move the mind on the skin of the left leg, from the left side of the waist to the toes. I told you, I have to discover how when the mind moves, the prana also moves. How do I know the prana moves? I feel the sensation. No, I don't feel the sensation. What should I do? I just repeat it again. When just now, in every practice, sensation, relaxation, stillness, and down move the mind and the entire body from the top of the head to the toes and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So it is not when I said once and once you have done, your mind gets distracted, you are wandering somewhere else and you said my mind is. Why didn't you repeat it again? That shows the lack of commitment and sincerity. You may like to hide anything, but in a session you cannot hide. What I discussed, with you, inner landscape and outer. So the entire body you experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. So we want to raise our level of awareness to see what is happening inside, deep inside. We don't know yet. So we go by open mind. What is that open mind? Buddha has made it so simple. What it says, look at the breath. Look at the breath or the flow of the breath. Just look at the breath or the flow of the breath. So when you look at the flow of the breath, means your mind follows the movement of the breath. Mind follows the movement of the breath. So it means mind and the breath are going together. Going together. So who goes first and second is not the question. They both are together. So add one more thing, add one more point to go together. You start counting the breath mentally. The moment the breath goes in, you say in one. When the breath comes out, you say simply out one. It hardly takes even a fraction of a millisecond when the breath flows in and out. So when you do the practice at home, count 1 to 25, then return 25 to 1. Then what? Repeat at your home when you are doing the practice at least maybe 5 to 10 times, and every time you will find the mind starts settling down. We do it. Question is, we are doing or we are not doing. We are sincere or we are not sincere. That is the question. Don't be offended and start challenging her. Do you think that I'm not sincere? It is a qualitative change. In the material world, you can challenge your boss or a teacher. You can memorize the concept without understanding. Here we are talking of the qualitative change. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Your awareness. Bring your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both of arms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. So, how are you, Charlie?
Hi, Girish. I'm well. I was aware that my mind wanted to wander, and I just kept applying. I think you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Come back, pay attention. Come back, pay attention. So I was doing that when I felt I was going somewhere or following a line of thought. So I was, and then I just sort of dropped into a different space. So that was, I like that come back, pay attention approach.
Yes, we succeeded in the practice in this session. So now we have to succeed all the time. Mind continues to wander since I wake up until I retire to the bed. So it means, should I continue to do the practice? No, I should maintain my awareness, come back, or counting the breath. Then only I can enter into the space which I don't know that we are going to explore. Beautiful. How are you, Sophie?
Hi, Girish. Thank you. I am well. I was aware all the time. It was a very spacious feeling. The images appear, but they didn't take control of me.
Yes, that is good. Yes. Nobody can take control of me. Mind is an instrument. But if the phone controls me, if the TV controls me, I enjoy the horror or romantic movies, it means TV is controlling me, phone is controlling me. Same way, the mind is an instrument. So when I say that, oh no, no one is controlling me, obviously the distraction is not there. Goods, how are you, John, sir?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I guess I had an experience like Charlie where I stay focused and don't allow myself to get distracted by other things.
That is the beautiful statement. So I don't allow myself to distract it. Why I allow myself to get distracted? There is a lack of awareness. Why there is a lack of awareness? Impulsive nature. habitual natures. What happens with the impulsive and habitual? They pour in the thoughts into my mind and keeps me distracted. No, but it has nothing to do with, I claim that this is me. That is why I feel distracted. I discussed in the session, so that is also beautiful. That is all for today. We'll meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.